AdverTech is more than just talent acquisition. It's more than just the conversations happening on stage and you listening as an audience member. It's all about the community and you getting really connected to new people that have the same types of priorities.
What if you could build something so powerful that it changes how an entire generation sees itself? Morgan DeBaun was just 25 years old when she realized that Black millennials like her had no digital home, no platform that truly understood their culture, their ambitions, their voice. So she built one, and in doing so, she created an empire that reaches over 250 million people every month. This is the story of how a young woman from St. Louis turned frustration into a movement and a simple idea into Blavity Inc., one of the most influential media companies in America. Morgan DeBaun didn't grow up dreaming of being a media mogul. She was a math kid, the type who loved solving problems and finding patterns. She went to Washington University in St. Louis, studied finance, and landed exactly the kind of job everyone told her to get. She worked at Intuit, the massive software company behind TurboTax and QuickBooks. On paper, everything looked perfect, but something was missing. Morgan would scroll through her social media feeds and see the same thing over and over. The content being created for millennials didn't reflect her reality. The stories being told, the faces being shown, the experiences being shared, they weren't hers. They weren't her friends. They weren't her communities. She saw fashion blogs that ignored Black designers, tech news that overlooked Black innovators, lifestyle content that acted like Black millennials didn't exist, or worse, only showed them through tired stereotypes. And she thought, why isn't anyone fixing this? Then came the moment that changed everything. It was 2014, and Morgan was watching what happened after Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson, Missouri, just miles from where she grew up. She saw how the mainstream media covered it. She saw how the real stories from the community were being ignored or twisted. She saw young Black people trying to share their truth on social media because no one else would tell it. That's when Morgan made her decision. She wasn't going to wait for someone else to create the platform she wanted to see. She was going to build it herself. Morgan quit her comfortable job and dove into the deep end. She had an idea, some savings, and absolutely no experience running a media company. But she had something more valuable. She understood her audience because she was her audience. The name came first, Blavity, a blend of black and gravity, representing the pull of Black culture and community. The concept was simple but revolutionary: create a digital space where Black millennials could see themselves authentically. Not as stereotypes, not as afterthoughts, but as the complex, creative, ambitious people they actually were. She started in 2014 with a website and a small team of believers. They worked out of apartments and coffee shops, writing articles, creating videos, and building a community from scratch. Morgan wasn't trying to compete with massive media companies by playing their game. She was creating an entirely new game. The early days were brutal. Morgan was learning how to run a business while building it. She was pitching investors who didn't understand why a platform specifically for Black millennials mattered. She heard the market's too small and it's too niche more times than she could count. But she kept going. And then something incredible happened. The audience showed up. Not in hundreds, but in thousands, then hundreds of thousands, then millions. Black millennials were hungry for this content. They shared articles about Black entrepreneurs. They engaged with stories about natural hair and mental health and career success. They found community in the comment sections. Blavity wasn't just a website, it was becoming a movement. By 2016, just 2 years after launching, Blavity was reaching 6 million people every month. Morgan had proven that the market wasn't too small, it was massive. It had just been ignored. But Morgan wasn't satisfied with just one platform. She saw bigger opportunities everywhere she looked. If Black millennials needed better media, they also needed better spaces to connect in real life. In 2016, she launched Afrotech. It started as a conference bringing together Black people working in technology and innovation. That first year, 400 people showed up. It felt like magic, a room full of Black engineers, founders, investors, and dreamers who rarely got to be in spaces like this together. The next year, 2,500 people came, then 5,000, then 11,000. By 2019, Afrotech had become the largest Black tech conference in the United States, drawing over 20,000 attendees. Major companies like Google, Facebook, and Apple started showing up, desperate to recruit from this incredible talent pool they'd been overlooking. Afrotech wasn't just about networking, it was about opportunity. Millions of dollars in funding deals happened at these conferences, jobs were offered, partnerships were formed, lives were changed. Morgan had created a space where Black excellence in tech wasn't the exception, it was the norm. But she didn't stop there. Morgan kept expanding. She launched 2190, a lifestyle platform for Black women. She created Shadow and Act, focused on Black entertainment and film. She built Travel Noir for Black travelers seeking new experiences. Each platform served a specific need, and together they formed Blavity Inc., a media powerhouse reaching over 250 million people monthly across all properties. Today, Morgan DeBaun runs a company valued at over $30 million. She's raised millions in funding from major investors who once doubted her vision. She's been featured in Forbes, Fortune, and on lists of the most influential entrepreneurs in America. She's still in her early 30s, but the numbers don't tell the full story. The real impact is in the lives changed. It's the young Black woman who saw herself represented positively for the first time. It's the developer who got their dream job through an Afrotech connection. It's the entrepreneur who learned from a Blavity article and started their own business. Morgan proved that representation isn't just feel-good talk, it's good business. She showed that there was a massive, engaged, valuable audience that mainstream media had been leaving on the table, and she built the infrastructure to serve that audience better than anyone else. What makes Morgan's story so powerful isn't just that she succeeded, it's that she succeeded by staying true to who she was and who she was building for. She didn't try to make Blavity palatable to people who didn't get it. She made it authentic to the community that needed it. She's opened doors for countless other Black founders and creators. She's changed how major companies think about diversity and inclusion. She's created spaces where Black millennials and Gen Z can see their full humanity reflected back at them, their ambition, their creativity, their struggles, their joy. Morgan DeBaun saw a gap and filled it. She saw a community being ignored and built them a home. She turned frustration into action, action into a company, and a company into a movement that's reshaping American. From a corporate job she walked away from, to building a $30 million media empire reaching 250 million people. Morgan DeBaun proved that when you create for your community with authenticity and vision, you don't just build a business, you build a legacy. Like and subscribe for more content on wealthy families, influential dynasties, and inspiring legacies.